Hello everybody, my name is Dratnos, and welcome to This Week in Mythic Plus. This week's affixes should be Tyrannical, Bolstering, Explosive, and of course Shrouded. The NA servers at the time of this video coming out are in a nice long maintenance, so I figured I'd have this video come out during that maintenance. But that means that I am predicting what the affixes are going to be, which it looks like they're just the same rotation as they were last season, but to be fair, we're not 100% sure, so this video may end up being a little bit wrong. You can see, technically we got question marks on all of the weeks except for the first two, but should be Bolstering, Explosive, Tyrannical. So, what to know about this week in general. Historically, Bolstering, Explosive, Tyrannical has been a pretty slow week, especially for pushing score. That's a little bit less true ever since they nerfed Bolstering. It's also especially less true with the texture of several of the Season 4 dungeons. Dungeons like Grimrail Depot, Upper Karazhan, Mechagon Workshop, that are pretty much boss rush, small one pack at a time type dungeons anyway, where you kind of don't get in too much trouble with Bolstering or Explosive. You're not really trying to pull more than 5 mobs at the same time anyways. So that actually means it's a fairly good week from that side. However, there are some nasty Tyrannical boss encounters in a lot of these dungeons too that, of course, as you start pushing the Keystone level up, you're going to start running into and having some trouble with. So yeah, that is the main thing this week is just Tyrannical. So go for, especially in those dungeons, in the more single-target-y dungeons, single-target builds are even better than they are on, like, Season 3 Tyrannical weeks, that kind of stuff. Okay, let me move away from those portals, because that's actually a lot of people moving in the background here in my not very well planned out video recording spot. Okay, so dungeon by dungeon, Grimrail shouldn't be too bad with these affixes. I didn't actually test these ones on PTR. I think Explosives you should be able to target fairly reasonably, even when your camera is kind of scuffed later in the train, and you don't really pull too big. So should be fine here. Docks, I actually don't remember if these things trigger on death affixes, but if they do, just wait out the Bolstering if you happen to somehow be in combat with some and bolster some others or something like that. Just, kite or hit them with the next Iron Star. The Iron Star should still kill them all. Streets and Gambit, of course, familiar with. I'm actually still recommending going left on Streets, and by the way, if you're interested in these routes, link in the description to where you can find them. I actually think going left is kind of good always, but especially on these on-death affix weeks, not pulling these things is really nice for Bolstering and stuff, so I actually think this is a good direction to go, especially with where all of these infiltrators are. You can get so many stats nice and early in the dungeon for all the later Tyrannical bosses. Gambit. So Gambit I have 2 routes available for, one of which kind of sneaks through and then does a Shroud or Invis pot and skips Zorgamox. I'm still unclear if skipping Zorgamox in here is a good idea. You can mix and match here. But the nice thing the skips route does as well is because you're skipping that, you can skip these Guardians too, and then you can tag this thing without pulling the other Guardian. It turns out, so that works out nicely there, too. Yeah, I think skipping the Guardians is almost always good, unless you're, 3 ranged in your group. Skipping the Zorgamox, it's really annoying to fight in this dungeon is the problem. That's the big problem with fighting Zorgamox is all the areas near her are annoying to fight her. You kind of want to, clear out area. So, in this route, we're clearing this stuff and then pulling back to fight her, which that's fine, too, but, yeah, I'm still not sure which of those is better. Junkyard, I have a Gunker first route and a Trixie first route now. Now, I think that Gunker first should work for NA, but for EU, you might have to use the Trixie first route. It's pretty much the same thing, just adjust which order of the bosses you go to, depending on where the hard mode thing is. But pretty much always, I'm recommending heading left and getting your shock bots early. You can get these 2. Anybody can get these 2, shock bots 2 and 3. There's also a shock bot in this cave down under in the tunnels that anybody with Invis, Feign Death, Vanish can go and grab nice and easily. The shock bot and this grease bot, so that's another nice one you can pick up there. Anybody with stealth can go and grab this shock bot. Just watch out because these hounds do have true sight, but you can usually still grab this without too much trouble. So you can get 4 shock bots really early, and then there's a 5th one right over here that you could get in an early pull as well. Get fully botted up, and then just head to whichever bosses do not have the hard mode over them. Let's see. Workshop. So Workshop, I'm kind of on board for similar reasons to Streets of Wonder, why I like going left. I'm kind of on board for just skipping all of this nonsense every time, because These living wastes are pretty lethal. The waste processing units are very annoying mobs, and with any on-death affixes, this area gets a lot worse too. So this is my recommendation. If you want to do a skip in Workshop, I would skip this pack rather than the last pack of the dungeon, because the last pack of the dungeon is really annoying to skip, has True Sight, but if you want to just do this dungeon by holding your W key and pulling every single pack in front of you, absolutely an A-okay way to handle this dungeon too. It's just, you know, if you want to do that, you don't need a route, right? You just hold W. Lower, I'm still unsure. I'm still offering 2 routes for this dungeon. They're actually pretty similar now. The main difference is just skipping the ushers, and then the boss order is also a little different. The boss order for the skips route is Opera, Medivh, Ataman, Maiden, whereas the other one is Opera, Maiden, Medivh, Ataman. I'm still not 100% sure which of these bosses I'm most scared of on Tyrannical. It might be Morose now that I think about it, but either way, it's something that you kind of got to figure out which of these bosses you want to do, like for your lust timing, and you want to do like the hardest one last with all your shrouded buffs, right? So yeah, that's something. The jury's still a little bit out for me on that one as well. One thing I am sure of is, yeah, skipping these ushers is really nice. So if you are able to do a little invis skip, a little shroud skip, or you can even just die, go back to the start of the dungeon, and run to Morose's room because the door will be open after you kill Opera. So any of those plans, don't fight these ushers if you can avoid it. If you're in a pug, sometimes even though the mobs are annoying, trying to skip is more annoying, right? And so just kill him in that case, that's fine. And then finally, Upper. Thing to remember about Upper is these Mana Gorged Worms do bolster, I think. They trigger they sanguined at least, so they will bolster. So these Mana Confluences are going to get rather bolstered. So either do this 1 pack at a time and try and prior damage, or just let them get bolstered and then let it expire, and just try not to die to the Arcane Barrage. You can line of sight this if you want as well. Yeah, so that's a quick look at how the dungeons are looking this week. I'm sure we'll know more as we actually get to start playing them. Let me know any cool tips you have, especially any bolstering explosive tips in the comments below. And if this video goes out and then the servers come up and it is not bolstering explosive, ping me on Discord so that I can take this video down and not have inaccurate content on my channel for a super long time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe and stuff if you liked the video and stuff. That helps. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.